You've just stepped into the shadows. Welcome to Breakup Cheater, where every story pulls you in, keeps you guessing, and leaves you looking over your shoulder. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's dive into the truth they never wanted you to hear. On an ordinary Sunday afternoon, I thought I was alone. But then, there was a knock at my door. Standing there was the last person I expected to ever see. My ex-wife's sister. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her hands were trembling. And when she opened her mouth, she told me the truth I'd been chasing for years. The truth that would change everything. My ex's sister knocked on my door. And revealed everything. It was a cold, gray Sunday afternoon. The kind where the air smells faintly of rain and the streets feel too quiet. I had been halfway through making coffee when a knock rattled my front door. It wasn't the kind of casual, friendly tap you give a neighbor. It was urgent, almost shaky. When I opened the door, I froze. Standing there was Hannah, my ex-wife's younger sister. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her hair was messy, her eyes red and swollen, and her oversized hoodie hung off her like it belonged to someone else. We hadn't spoken since the divorce. Back then, she'd been cold toward me, siding with her sister like everyone else in her family. So seeing her now, looking so desperate, sent a rush of questions into my head. "Hannah," said cautiously, "what's going on?" Her lips trembled. "Can I come in? Please. It's important." I stepped aside, still unsure if I should be letting her in at all. She walked past me into the living room, clutching her phone like it was the only thing holding her together. When she sat on the couch, she didn't look at me right away. She just stared at her hands. Then, in a voice so quiet I had to lean forward to hear, she said, "I should have told you 2 years ago, but I didn't. And now, I can't keep it to myself anymore." Back to the beginning. When I married Claire, Hannah's older sister, I thought I had everything. Claire was charming, ambitious, and had a way of making me feel like I was the only person in the room. Hannah was just a teenager back then, shy, polite, and fiercely loyal to her sister. Our marriage seemed perfect at first. Sure, Claire worked late a lot, but she told me it was because she was trying to make partner at her law firm. I believed her. I defended her to anyone who suggested she might be too busy for me. Until one night. She didn't come home. No calls. No messages. Just silence. When she finally returned the next morning, she claimed she'd fallen asleep at the office. I didn't push, but the seed of doubt was planted. That seed grew into something darker over the next year. The lies became more frequent. The distance between us grew. Eventually, she asked for a divorce. No big fight. No tears. Just cold detachment. I walked away with more questions than answers. The truth spills out. Back in my living room now, Hannah's hands were trembling. "I know why she left you," she whispered. "And it wasn't because you weren't a good match like she told everyone." I didn't breathe. "She'd been seeing someone else," Hannah continued, her eyes filling with tears. "Not just seeing, living a double life. The late nights. The trips for work. They were all excuses to be with him." Clenched my jaw. I'd suspected it, but hearing it confirmed by someone so close to her made it feel like the air had been punched from my lungs. "That's not all," she said, voice cracking. "I caught her once. At a hotel. She begged me not to tell you. Said if I did, I'd ruin her life, and I was stupid enough to believe her. I thought I was protecting her, but I was really just helping her lie to you." Hannah started crying, the kind of deep, shaking sobs that come from guilt. "I hated watching you blame yourself," she said. "You didn't deserve any of it. And I can't keep protecting her anymore, not after what she's done lately." The final blow. I asked what she meant. That's when she dropped the last piece of truth I hadn't been prepared for. "She's engaged to him now," Hannah said. "And they've been telling everyone that you were the one who cheated. That's why I'm here. I'm done letting her rewrite history." She pulled out her phone and slid it toward me. Photos. Messages. All the proof I'd never had. All the evidence that could have changed everything back then. Where it left me. I sat there in silence, The weight of 2 years of unanswered questions finally crashing down. Part of me felt relief, the kind that comes when you finally know the truth. But the other part was pure rage. Not just at Claire, but at the fact that everyone in her world believed her version of the story. Hannah wiped her eyes. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just couldn't carry it anymore. She left shortly after, her footsteps fading down the hall. I sat in the living room long after she was gone, staring at the evidence in my hands. For the first time in years, I wasn't wondering what happened. I knew exactly what happened. And now, I had to decide what I was going to do with it. When the door finally closed behind her, I was left with nothing but silence. And the evidence in my hands. 2 years of lies, rewritten history, and betrayal, finally laid bare. I had the truth now. But the question that kept me awake that night wasn't what happened. It was, what am I going to do next? Because some truths don't just set you free. They demand revenge. You've been listening to Breakup Cheater, the place where secrets come to light and every ending is just the beginning of another story. If this one kept you on edge, make sure you subscribe, share it, and join me next time under the Breakup Cheater.